TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
This week, the relationship between Israel and the U.S. has taken another hit. All of this is while the kids in Gaza are going on terrorist summer camp, and Jenin fired rockets towards Jewish towns while terrorist attacks just don't stop. We'll get into all of this, but first, let's say thank you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. It is such a blessing every week what you guys are doing here in the state of Israel, in the nation of Israel. Like we've said many times, and if you haven't been a part of this yet, you want to be, underneath all of our videos in YouTube, there's links to the Patreon page and to the Support Us page. Or you can just go to thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there and find whichever way is easiest for you to be a part of this ministry and to get involved. This is such a beautiful thing. This week was another very extra blessed week because this is a week where we grew again. We added more people, another family. So I mean, it was just and it's such a blessing to see it the first time. At the beginning, you hear them talking and you can feel the situation. They don't know what's going on. They have no idea that what just happened to them is that believers this week, that what just happened to this family is that believers around the world have given their support and allowed us to start giving them food. And now it's going to show up at their door every week. And they're going to say, and finally they're going to do what they always do, is ask, where does this come from? Where does this blessing all about? And then it opens up the door for me to talk to them about where it comes from and what this is all about. And praise the Lord, it's just such a wonderful, amen, absolutely. It's such a wonderful thing. And when we get a new family, it's a double whammy how special it is, because it's not only are we able to feed these people and do the Lord's work, which we know is so important, but we know what's coming and what kind of spiritual nourishment we'll be able to give to them in the future. Well, another way you can help us is also like and subscribe and share these videos and give us a comment and tell us what you think. But let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Biden made a statement this week that Israel has the most extreme coalition he has ever seen. And the reason that he hasn't invited Bibi is because of the extreme right-wing coalition. He went on to say that Ben Gvir basically is the problem. So what he is saying is that he is punishing Israel for being a democracy. It was the democratic process that put the coalition in place, and we shouldn't forget that the U.S. and Israel could not be further apart politically. U.S. being at the extreme right now, having an extreme left wing in the White House, while Israel has a strong right wing, or even some parts extreme right wing in the coalition. So you got extreme left mixing with extreme right when you're talking about U.S. and Israel. We've talked about it before. It's no surprise that they don't get along.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, if you think about, we have some figures that are considered very radical right wing.
Yes.
But the coalition itself restrained them.
It's not a radical extreme.
It's not radical.
It's the usual Bibi and the religious people.
Yes.
It's the usual.
Yes.
Most usual.
And they do more things that supposed to be done like 10 years ago, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But it's not very radical, the most radical, like Biden said.
Yeah. And like we just said, it's so strange because basically what Biden is saying is that he's punishing Israel for the democratic process and being a democracy. Because it's not Benjamin Netanyahu who chose out of thin air who to put in these positions. It's the people of Israel. It's the way the democracy works in Israel.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a certain amount of seats in the Knesset, and it gives them a certain amount of power, which makes them you have to deal with them to make a coalition, right? Yeah. That's how it works. That's democracy here.
Exactly.
And so he's punishing us for being a democracy.
Exactly. Yeah. Sunday, an Arab woman attempted a terrorist attack and to stab Jews in a train station in Jerusalem. Fortunately, she did not stab anyone, and the Israeli security agents in the area were able to stop her without having to shoot her or harm her. She was arrested and taken to interrogation. Hopefully, she will give some good information to help Israel stop the next attack.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she was shot in her leg, I think.
Yes.
And they arrested her. But of course, the media, what you see on the media,
Yeah.
is like she was like 60 years old. So the titles you will see, it's like Israeli attack on elderly Palestinian woman.
Oh, poor woman. She was probably on her way doing regular grocery shopping. Huh? It was
can
all a
see-
big misunderstanding.
Yeah, and you can see her throwing the knife while they arrested her, but still, it's like
And then you
fight-
yeah.
It's like fighting, windmills with, it's not. They will still claim that she was poor Palestinian woman.
Yeah. When you videos, you can clearly see that she was a terrorist, and that the Israeli security forces were doing their best to be as gentle as possible to stop the whole situation and arrest her.
Yeah,
They weren't
yeah.
being
Yeah.
unreasonably forceful or anything.
Yes.
Well, school is out, and the kids, well, it's been out for a while, but there's a point I'm making here. And the kids are going to summer camp to have fun all over the world, and including here in Israel. At least that's what the kids in Israel are doing, like us. But the Arab kids in Gaza are going to terrorist summer camp. That's right. This is not the first time, by the way. I just figured, I don't know if we talked about it last year, but the parents in Gaza are actually sending their kids to learn how to hate Jews and kill the innocent here in the state of Israel. This is the real reason why peace between our people is not possible. As long as they are continue to brainwash their kids to hate us, peace is not even a possibility. You can't talk peace with someone who, as you're talking to them, the only thing they want to do is see you dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
But Golda Meir said once, very smart.
We like Golda Meir,
Yeah,
yeah.
we like her. She said, when they will love their kids more than they hate us,
Yes.
then will be a peace.
Then there'll be someone to talk with.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. It's so true. Once they love their kids more than they hate us, that's so true. Yeah. Because you can see it. They're training their kids. Parents send their kids to terrorist summer camp, right? And knowing, the parents knowing that a lot of this stuff, they're at the summer camp, they're teaching them to be suicide bombers and suicide terrorists, and and the parents support this.
Yes.
The parents. This is why I always said if Israel would spend its energy instead of the death penalty to the exiling of terrorist family members law, I think it would make a bigger difference, because then the parents wouldn't push their kids so much towards this stuff.
Yeah.
I think it would make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. On Monday, Arabs from Jenin fired 2 rockets into a Jewish town in Judea. This is a new issue that the IDF has to deal with now. Jenin or the Arabs in Jenin are trying to make themselves some sort of new norm, as if they are Gaza, and they're trying to act like they're Gaza.
Yeah.
They will be able to fire rockets into Jewish towns now. The 2 rockets did not harm anyone or even make any damage to the homes in the area, thank God.
Yeah.
We need to go back into Jenin and take care of these terrorists.
Yes. Well, we do need to go back. But what's happening now with Jenin? Since we've had this it hadn't been 2 weeks since this last big thing. It's been about a week and a half or about a week actually. We went into Jenin. So I know you was just reading up about it. So what's going on?
Yeah, well, as I learned yesterday that Israel made a deal with PA, Palestinian Authority.
Abu Mazen.
Abu Mazen.
Yeah.
Which is terrorist by himself.
Absolutely.
And everybody know that. But we made a deal that we will stop operations in Jenin for now, and they will try to take over Hamas. Because lately Hamas been
It's growing in the Judean Samaria Arab areas. Where they, yeah.
Yeah, and so between two evils, it's like we're trying to get the
Yes.
least one, which is PPA,
Yes.
Palestinian Authority. I'm against it, but that's
Yeah, because it's tying our hands from continuing to work in Jenin
Exactly.
in the meantime. Yeah, I can understand why you want one or the other. I think you don't want if you can rally up where all your enemies just one enemy instead of having to look at too many different ones. It's just easier to deal with if you have one. I think that's the main reason.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, on Wednesday, 3 Hezbollah terrorists from Lebanon approached the border fence of Israel, and the IDF used non-lethal explosions to move them back. These terrorists were attempting to place a bomb on the border, hoping to cause the death of an IDF soldier or at least blow a hole in the border fence. Also, Hezbollah terrorists set a fire on the border in the area where the Hezbollah placed the 2 tents, if you remember that, to aggravate Israel and the IDF soldiers in that area. If you remember that, they started that, about a month ago?
Yeah.
This was on the 12th of the month, which was this past Wednesday, which was the day to remember the Second Lebanese War. That's what...
Symbolic, huh?
Yeah, that's what made them rouse up on that particular day. That's the reason it all happened on that day.
Yeah. Just a quick update about the tents.
Yes.
After the tents set up on Israeli side of the blue line, it was like 2 months ago.
2 months ago,
Two
yeah.
months
Okay,
ago. Last Wednesday, Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, warned Hezbollah will respond if the tents will be attacked. He demanded Israel withdraw from any disputed territories along the border as well as north part of Gajar. I think this is the Arab village on the border. Additionally to tents on the Israeli side, Hezbollah set up 30 more guard posts on the Lebanon side of the blue line.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's good information. It's true. Sometimes you look at that and you think, what's the IDF waiting for? Because I'm telling you, I don't know what you guys news that you listen to, and if you do listen to any news that talks about Hezbollah and the threat of Hezbollah, I don't know what they say, but I can tell you 100%. Hezbollah is not a threat to the safety of the state of Israel. Hezbollah is not big enough, not strong enough, not smart enough. I mean, I know it sounds bad, like I'm saying big old Israel, but there's things. I'm not saying that about Iran. Iran could be and will be a huge problem, especially when they make their nuclear weapons. So I'm not saying that Israel don't have no threats. I'm just saying Hezbollah is not one of them. So it makes you wonder why the IDF just doesn't go in and finish this off. If it's what kind of game they're playing.
Yeah.
The decision makers.
Yeah, but I have a theory why Hezbollah doing this thing right now. After the last time they actually won the border in the sea.
Oh yeah, you're talking about because when we had the coalition, the extreme left wing coalition with the left wing parties as Bennett, the
terrorists,
the
Arab terrorists,
with the Arab terrorists in the coalition, and Bennett as the prime minister who was a wolf in sheep clothing. He ended up being the most extreme left wing person we've ever seen.
Yeah. So they moved the border. They were threatened with war, and we, the last government, not me, was like, okay, agree, and we moved the border by their demands. We agreed. So now they feel like, okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bennett gave them the strength and legitimized them. This whole situation they're in where they feel like they're big and strong.
Yeah.
Because they threatened Bennett that if we don't give them the gas fields, they would attack. And Bennett backed down immediately and gave them huge chunk that even cuts down into our border. I mean, it's 100% you're correct.
There's still some little thing that make me feel good. You know what it is?
What?
You know from where Nasrallah make his speeches all the time?
From the bunker.
From the bunker.
And they even make a thing about it here in Israel. It's always every time they show us the latest speech of Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah,
Yeah.
they always say Hezbollah's leader Nasrallah's latest speech from the bunker, and then they show it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's true, he's too scared to come out of the bunker,
Yeah.
which shows you what I'm saying is that he knows as well that if Israel wanted to, they take him out, and even if he didn't come out of that bunker, we got ground penetrating rockets. We could take him out anytime we want. That's not a problem. We know where the bunker is, and we know where he is. Well, Al, all this week we had crazy protests all over the country, still protesting against the judicial reform, including closing the main highways and protesters overrunning the Ben Gurion airport. The right-wing voters are beginning to get fed up with this and are starting to protest themselves. Because the left wing is protesting against the public and not the government, which is so strange this time, so the right wing is beginning to do the same. The left wing has been protesting for more than 6 months, even during the time Netanyahu stopped the reform for a month and a half or 2 months, while he had stopped it. Now, the same judicial system that needs the reform is now talking about impeaching Netanyahu.
Yes.
That's just to give you a recap of this, how crazy this is.
Yeah.
This judicial reform thing has been going. It's insane. I saw something, two wrongs do not make a right. We both agree on that the right-wing protesters shouldn't do some of the things they're doing, but we both have a little bit of a smile on our face when we see it.
Yeah.
There's certain areas where most of these left-wing protesters are coming out of, like some certain kibbutzes and stuff. And the right wing, they just block the entrance to the kibbutz because there's usually one road in, one road out of these places. And just say, we're protesting against your protesting, and you can't leave your house.
Yeah.
Because if it's good for you to stop, make everyone stop, then we stop you.
Yeah, I was standing in lines for 3 hours, 4 hours. Now you're going to stay, wait for me to move my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's surprised? Police didn't do too much about it, which is, it makes me smile. But I'm still thinking we should stop. And we should, because the part of the judicial reform is still going.
Yes.
So we shouldn't do anything. Let them go out, let them do their thing.
Right.
Until, if we're not stopping, we don't have to do anything. Just let them do their jobs in the government.
Yep. Well, I agree. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to add?
It's hot.
Oh,
it's
yes.
Hot.
Hot week this week.
Yes, very hot. And I heard in Louisiana also it's hot. We have one subscriber that wrote me Louisiana is very hot now. In Israel too. So yeah, hot summer. But I think, Israel is, we have such a blessing to live here in this land. So
amen.
We love it.
It's a blessing to live here. And it's even more of a blessing to be here doing God's work, where you guys are allowing it to happen, to continue doing God's work. And God bless you all. Thank you so much. And like I said, this week it's always a double special week when we can add a new family. So thank you for everything, guys. Don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next week,
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.